Okay, so what we're going to do here today is we're going to quickly run through the proper ways to do the fried liver attack, the wrong ways to do it, and the ways that you punish people when they don't play around it correctly. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how the fried liver attack goes when it's done properly, how it so the proper way that you do the fried liver attack, very basic, E45 NFTMs. You say this is where it goes from of four knights open, which would be knight c3, to the fried liver attack, which is knight to g5. So now here in knight to g5, what most people will do, which is the easy punish, which is why this works 99% of the time, it works all the time. People play h6. Oof. As the bar goes out of control because you win this rook. And if they don't save the queen, you save the queen. You get the point. And there are a lot of lines where the knight actually escapes and you don't end up losing anything. That's the correct way to do it, but the most common way that people will play against this is they will play d5. Now, d5 is the number one way to do this because no matter how they take, they, this, this diagonal is going to be blocked, or you're just going to take the bishop. But if they take with the bishop, they will lose this opening 100% of the time if you play it correctly. So we're going to go over the proper line and how white is supposed to play this first. So white is supposed to take on e5, and now knight is supposed to go to a5. Again, I'm going to go over all the mistakes later on, but this is how the opening goes for people who know how to play as or against this open. So now usually the main line, you don't want to leave your bishop here because your bishop is hanging, and it's very common for people to actually bring back this bishop. So when knight takes, you open up your rook and you make c4 a little stronger technically, but that line is actually not the best line. The best line is bishop b5 check. What bishop b5 check is, it forces two things to happen. It forces either you to play c6, which is the best move, or forces bishop to d7. Bishop d7 isn't really good. I don't advise bishop d7 ever, because there are a lot of shenanigans that go on here. It's like I put a defender on this piece, and now a lot of stupid things happen here. That's not the line that. If that's the line you want to play as black, then you do you. But c6, in my opinion, is the best line, because when pawn takes, now you're taking towards the center, which is what you always want to do. Now you can also vianchetto your bishop. For those who don't know what the word vianchetto is, I call it Vietnamese cheese, is when you try to put your bishop on the longest diagonal of the board, which is, so it's bishop, come on, it's bishop here, or whenever your bishop comes to, this bishop comes here, that's vianchettoing your bishops, right? So this is usually main line, and then you bring this back. But black, in my opinion, black usually wins this position because of how terrible white structure looks. It's like if you just look at the left side of the board, then white hasn't even begun playing the game yet. So the board favors white, but I actually favor black's position here quite a lot. Now, another, let's just show an incorrect way to play this opening. Right? It's very simple. Now, a lot of things that people do, even if they get d5 correct, because this is, in my opinion, the only way that you effectively stop this to happen is d5. Another incorrect thing that people do when pawn takes is knight captures. Knight captures is wrong. You don't want to play knight captures d5. When you play knight captures d5, now you're opening up knight captures f7. Now, at first you're looking at this as like, why would you play knight captures f7? You're literally hanging your knight. The king's just going to pick it up. It's like, oh, are you sure about that? And now, knight. Now the queen is attacking your king, and it's also putting another attacker onto this knight on d5. Another thing that this also does is it technically can also threaten mate if black plays this incorrectly. If black plays king to g8, he instantly loses the game. Like, zero question. And bishop takes. You have literally one move that doesn't lose you the game on board. Just queen takes. Now my queen's gonna take. You have to play bishop and a checkmate. So you always respond. They're always gonna have to respond with king to e8. Now after king to e8, now most likely the bishop is gonna pick up this d5, this knight on d5, threatening the obvious mate on f7. But because they see the obvious mate on f7, no, it's gonna black's gonna play around it. But now you're just like, are you sure about that? And now you pick up this knight. Queen's gonna take it, obviously. And now there are a lot of shenanigans that go on. I don't need to run through this whole line, but just know white is white wins this position if knight takes here. Now, the reason why white does not play bishop takes d5, because you see this bar just flips out crazy. Knight takes. You're just like, oh, okay, knight takes. Do I really care now? I'm just gonna pick up this knight now. It's like, okay, I'll pick up your knight. You have to play this carefully, because if as white you play this, just like, okay, black doesn't want to pick this up. Come on, come on, mouse. Black does not want to pick up this. You want to pick up this pawn instead, because now you're also having an eye on this c6 pawn, but most importantly, you have an eye on this h1 rook. Now, some people do really stupid things, and they're just like, oh, I'm gonna take this pawn, and then if you take my rook, I'm just gonna pick this up, and then now if I pick up this bishop, you're forced to take it with your rook, or if they take the rook, then you have to retreat your queen all the way back and have an even trade, and I didn't lose anything. No, that's not how chess works. Because now if you take this, I actually have mate on board. It's a very quick and easy mate. Retreat. Only legal square. Checkmate. And if you play, let's say, if you play the correct move, which is rook to f1, I can still pick up your pawn here, whether I want to pick it up with the queen or with the pawn. I usually want to, but I don't want to pick up this pawn at all, because remember, this pawn is not actually threatening anything because my queen is still eyeing down that pawn. So what we're actually going to do is I'm going to keep threatening this rook. Now you're going to have to play queen e2. And now it's just like, okay. You know what? That's defended. It's okay. You do what you got to do. I'll pick up this pawn now. And now I have a discovered attack onto this rook because of this bishop. So those are the main ways that you want to play this opening. Do I recommend playing this opening at really low levels where 99.9% of people have no idea how to play against this? Yes, you can play the fried liver, because even if they do know how to play against it, you aren't heavily punished. Uh, yeah, the game still looks good for you, even if they know how to, even if they know this entire variation. Once you know how to play the opening as well, then it's all good. Remember, if you're playing against, if you ever put into the situation, play d5. Don't worry about it. Remember all the punishes, because there are lots of punishes in this position. And you're good. That'll be the end of this video. If you guys have any recommendations on an opening you want to go over, I might do the accelerated dragon, because I've been studying that opening for like 6 months now, so I think I know a decent amount to put it in a video. I'll put that up. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.